Welcome, everybody. This is our deal webinar for the Addison, Texas property. I'm Jacob Amesqua. I'm one of the co-founders of Motel to Apartment Conversions and Parkrise. And I'm here with a couple of my partners, Jeremy and Keith. Jeremy and Keith, do you want to give a brief introduction to yourselves?
Hey guys, yeah, my name is Jeremy Bratcher. I'm president and COO of Parkrise Suites, and looking forward to sharing some great details about a fantastic opportunity we have in Dallas, Texas.
And I'm Keith. I'm Jacob's friend, maybe even more than that, in that I'm also a CPA, and I have a fantastic tax strategy that complements this deal. It's an amazing marriage of an investment strategy and a tax strategy that fits together. I look forward to sharing that later.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, Keith. So, like he said, he's going to pop back later and talk about a tax strategy that we can implement with this deal that should be really attractive to investors. Okay, so let's jump into it. So this property is in Addison, Texas. It's right outside of Dallas, and we'll explain a little bit more about the benefits of that area. It's 120 units, and we will be converting this property into a Parkrise Suites building. Here's some of our legal jargon that we have to show. Our team, again, I'm Jacob Amesqua, founder of Parkrise Suites. Andrew LeBaron, not with us today, but he's another co-founder. And then Jeremy, who just introduced himself, president and COO, Parkrise Suites. We have a killer advisory board for our company. Jeremy, do you want to kind of go through this and explain who everybody is?
Sure. So we put together a group of industry best strategic partners. I'll highlight a bit, and we've actually got one who we've recently added that I'll mention as well. So Joe Reardon, he's Chief Development Officer at Hotel Equities. He is a industry vet and a strategic partner in that Hotel Equities is also one of our preferred management company partners. They understand our model. They know how to operate it and execute the model to the T so that we can maximize both guest experience and owner profitability. We have Dan Rama. He is one of the principals with NewGen Advisory, which is a brokerage company specializing in hotels and hospitality real estate, as well as he's also a hotel owner. So he's a great advisor from both of those aspects, as well as the acquisition of our properties that we're looking to acquire and the disposition at the right time. Stacy Bedsole is she owns her own marketing and branding company today. Prior to that, she was the global head of branding for IHG, overseeing the Crown Plaza brand, the Hotel Indigo brand, and the launch of the Even Hotels brand a few years ago. So with her partnership in refining our brand and our messaging and ensuring that it makes sense for that end user, the guest, as well as in alignment with an ownership structure that is owner friendly as well. Orlando McRae is our design and construction and architecture expert on our advisory panel. His background spans Marriott, Starwood, and IHG. So any hotel doing new construction or conversion, their drawings, design elements, etc., that had to be approved by the brand, that was Orlando. And what's great is that he has recently transitioned within the last year to a owner-operator company. So now he's seen it from all angles, both on the franchisor side and the franchisee side. So having him on our team to help guide and ensure that we're making the best decisions, both short-term and long-term, is going to be advantageous for everybody involved. And then lastly, we've got Robert Stuckey. Robert Stuckey spent several years at IHG doing hotel openings, conversions, acquisitions, dispositions. And since then, he has spent time as a vice president with AHOA and at now America's Hotel Lodging Association. In both of those roles, he was working with developing and fostering relationships with key partners, vendors, owners, etc. So he has a wealth of experience and network that bodes in our favor as a franchisor and an operator. Lastly, we have, he's not on there yet, but we've got his picture. We need to get added soon. He's fresh to the team, and his name is Charlie Brown. Charlie is recently retired, but prior to retiring, he was overseeing. He spent about 20 plus years at IHG. During that time, he oversaw the legal team. He oversaw the franchise administration teams, all the franchise agreements, licenses, FDDs, all of that. He also helped oversee the quality team and some of the franchise operations teams. Prior to IHG, he was also I want to say assistant, an attorney for the state of Georgia. Pardon me, I'm not too savvy in my legal speak, but he's an attorney and some great experience from IHG that he brings to the table to really give us a robust group of advisors to counsel and help guide us from their subject matter areas.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so we're very lucky to have these people on our team. They believe in the vision of Parkrise. And before we get into the deal, we did want to recap what is Parkrise and what do we stand for and what is the product. So Parkrise Suites, it all centers around our pillars, which are live, stay, and belong. And so formerly as motel to apartment conversions, we focused on converting old hotels into apartments and rezoning them to be multifamily and leasing them up and getting long-term financing on them. And we found that there's a high demand for furnished, flexible living. And so that's Parkrise Suites. And the differentiator that we have is live is we give people the comfort of home plus a fully furnished apartment style suite. Very flexible. They're able to come in and go as they please, but we focus on long-term guests that are there for 30 days plus. Stay, we offer, as opposed to just a shelter, a box to live in, we offer hotel grade services and amenities. And belong, they're able to join a community. So all of the properties that we acquire and convert will have an element of community to them. Pickleball courts, events, we have food trucks that are lined up and planned to come and serve the guests. And so altogether, we are creating a product that is not just a box to live in. Like I mentioned, it's an actual community, and there's high demand for the product, and we're very excited to launch Parkrise Suites, and this deal is going to be a good springboard into it. And so really quickly, why is Parkrise? What is the advantage of Parkrise? Well, we have higher occupancy versus hotels. We have higher profit margins versus hotels. We have higher rents versus a standard apartment. Our cost basis to convert a normal hotel into a Parkrise Suites is 40 to 90% lower than new construction. It's 2 to 3 times faster for us to convert into Parkrise than new construction. And inventory is plentiful, and we're able to scale much easier to do a conversion and a retrofit into Parkrise Suites as opposed to new build. And so we can go into the business model of Parkrise Suites later, but it's a very high demand product, a lot of benefits to it. And this property in Addison is going to be a great addition into our portfolio. So to go through this deal now, shifting into deal mode, some of the benefits of this deal, this is a former Homewood Suites. It is not flagged anymore, deflagged, which means it is now an independent hotel, and we will be converting it into a Parkrise Suites. The good thing about this hotel is it was renovated in 2020. And so recent renovations, and that means there's minimal CapEx that we have to put into this. It's basically a turnkey conversion. We can get in there and we can cash flow day one on this property. Now, it is performing poorly right now, and Keith is going to talk about the advantages of that poor performance and how we can use it as a tax advantage and strategy so that we can have tax savings and all sorts of other benefits for investors. But generally speaking, this is going to be a very low lift in terms of renovation and in terms of time to cash flow. Addison, we're going to go through in a second what the market looks like, but there's a high demand for long-term furnished living. And we'll go through some really cool statistics later. This product is going to have high profitability. We're projecting a 50 to 60% GOP, which stands for gross operating profit. So for every dollar we bring in, we're projecting 50 to 60 cents on that dollar will be profit. And this is an off-market deal, and we're getting it below market value. We'll go through the numbers here in a second. So 120 units in Addison, Texas. The total acquisition price plus reno price is $87,000 for us to get into the deal, renovate it. And then the exit price, the value after renovation, after stabilization, is $117,000. So there's a great spread, lots of built-in equity there. The numbers that we're projecting for investors is a 36% IRR, a 3.5 equity multiple, a 46% average annual return, and then this is a 3 to 5 year project. And so at 60 months, we do plan to exit this property, and the buyer will be an extended stay hotel buyer. The property, Jeremy, did you want to talk a little bit about the property?
Certainly. Yeah, as a former Homewood Suites that was renovated in 2020, you've got essentially a new product. The hotel world, you do a soft goods renovation every 7 years. So what you're looking at is the next 4 years or so, it might need some new sofas and some chairs and carpet. So really, during the rest of the hold, there's very little capital that'll need to be deployed during the property hold period. With the rooms being about 660 square feet, you've got a very good space for someone who they don't want that lease. They want some flexibility, but they need a place they can call home and more than just a place to park, sleep, get up and leave. So as you see in the photos here, you've got outdoor space, pool, there's barbecue area, you've got full kitchens in all of the rooms, cooktop, full-size refrigerator, microwaves, sink, and some of the rooms, as you notice here, do have fireplaces as well. We also have a sports court, which is standard for Homewood Suites. That's part of the renovation, is to make that more of a multi-purpose court where we could either have shuffleboard, basketball, pickleball, you name it, a more versatile area, which adds some more amenity for the guest experience. Also, this property does have a meeting room. As a Homewood Suites, that makes sense. As a Parkrise Suites, we're going to repurpose that room. And that room will have a large projection TV shooting down one side, some other TVs around, pool table, foosball, a space that we can use for a variety of things, and really a gathering hub. That'll be kind of the hub and the heart of the hotel, is where everybody can gather to watch football on a Sunday afternoon because you're in Dallas and you want to watch the Cowboys, or just a place to have a child's birthday party or a pizza party or something in the evening. So yeah, a great opportunity. And as you see, the property was built in 90. So some of the older properties, you've got concerns around asbestos or copper pipes and that type of thing. With this property, none of those concerns at all.
Yeah, excellent property for what we're trying to do, especially with the large square footage of the room and the recent renovations in 2020. So you could see here, and this is what it looks like today. when we're buying it. And you can see large oversized rooms, big enough for 2 to even 4 people can live in these rooms, or a small family.
And it's worth noting that all of the sofas are sofa beds as well. That was a Homewood Suite standard, so all the rooms do have a sofa bed to give additional flexibility.
Yep, full kitchens in each. You can see kitchenettes here. Like Jeremy mentioned, there's a newly updated dining area, event space. This is the conference room that will be turned into an event space. Nice lobby. So really just minimal work that we have to do to the interior and exterior of this building. There's a nice pool. Everything is in great shape. A little grill area. There is a dog park. There's a nice fitness room that's there. And this basketball court, we will turn it into a pickleball court. We think that'll attract people in the area. So again, great property in great condition. It's going to be a great, but performing very poorly as is right now. So lots of value add opportunity for us. So the Addison area, this is a great area. It's 15 minutes outside of Dallas. You can see here there's a lot of industry being built. Our property is kind of right in the middle of all the growth. So like I said, 15 minutes north of Dallas, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth region, is one of the fastest growing regions in the country, 8 million plus people there in that metro. So for Addison specifically, there are 1,600 businesses in Addison, and this is a pretty crazy statistic. There are only 16,000 residents in Addison, but there's 125 people who commute there daily because it's a business district. So there's very limited housing in Addison, which makes this a great candidate for what we're doing. Double-digit rent growth over the past 5 years, and so when we talk about industry and growth, it's a fantastic opportunity. Low vacancy, low unemployment, and especially short to midterm projects. There are companies like Concentra, United Surgical Partners International, and Dresser, and these are all companies that there are short midterm stays that are in high demand for these companies and for other companies. And so with our model, with the flexible living model, fully furnished, it fits, this area is pretty much ideal for what we're building. So the pro forma and financials, we'll pass around this deck. You don't need to go through this. Here's a high level highlights. And I wanna point out that this is an ultra conservative pro forma. So occupancy, we have it 75%. Realistically, we think we can get 85% plus. Multifamily in the area is around 90% plus. Hospitality is around 65 to 70%. So we're taking a conservative approach right in the middle. The yield on cost, 10.4%, which is a healthy yield on cost. The ADR, and this is very interesting, that ADR of $82 is lower than the current ADR. And we'll go into why that is, but they're actually closer to $100 ADR as is. But we feel that increasing the occupancy of the property and lowering the operating expenses is going to give us a much better return. And so revenue will relatively stay the same on the property, but the operating expenses, they're negative right now. We anticipate to get their NOI up to 50 to 60% GOP, which is kind of what you see here. So the costs and returns, again, we'll pass around this deck so that you guys can go through this. But as a summary, the cap stack, we're sourcing $10 million in debt. The seller actually is on the board of a bank that he and his partners founded. And so the seller has sourced the debt for us already, 7.5% interest, and it is it's only 15 to 20% down, 20% down that they'll be requiring for the loan. So the equity raise is 1.9 million. Again, the cost per door after reno is under 90,000, and the post-reno value is 117,000 a door. So lots of equity built in there. Here is an example $100,000 investment for investors. And I kind of broke it down here just into bullet points. So year one, we anticipate immediately being able to pay a preferred return of 8%. That is those are the investor terms, 8% preferred return, and then an 80% profit split to the investor. And so year one, we anticipate an $8,000 preferred return. Year two, we anticipate just from cash flows alone to be able to distribute the 8% preferred return plus an additional distribution for a total of $23,000 year two. Year three is the year that we plan to refinance. So we anticipate a full return of investor capital year three, plus cash flows of additional $23,000. Year four, we anticipate a $19,000 distribution to investors. And then year five, our exit year, we anticipate a $157,000 distribution. And so the total return to investors, this includes the money back, the $100,000 investment, is $331,000. The projected project returns, we went through this beginning of the presentation. 36% IRR, 46% annual rate of return, 3.3x equity multiple, and a hold period of 5 years. It's really 3 to 5 years, which we'll go through our exit strategy here soon. So I'll walk through just a couple more numbers, and I'll let Jeremy explain some of the comps that we found in the area. So I've been through this a couple times. $9.5 million purchase price, $12 million project size, $10 million in debt, $1.9 million in equity is our raise. And our close date is April 24th. Reno strategy, this is a generous, conservative reno strategy. It's $7,000 per room. Realistically, we only think we need $5,000 per room. If that, it should be a 3-month reno timeline. There's no rezoning that needs to happen. There's no major renovations that need to happen. All of the infrastructure is good. We had sent out our general contractor, Waltz Construction. They did they checked everything, did a full property analysis. Everything is clean, good to go. And so you can see here the proposed project timeline is only 3 months. Any that we need, and any design is in month 2. Internet installation will probably be our biggest expense. The internet it does have internet right now. We would like to upgrade it to make it quicker, to make it faster. Some parking lot patches, exterior lighting is needed. There's a couple of AC units that need to be replaced. That's month 1. Month 2, we'll convert the basketball court to pickleball. Light renovations on the gym and the pool. We'll put up signage, clean up the dog park, do some landscaping. In month 3, basic cosmetic stuff, molding, trim repair, cosmetic paint touch-ups, light landscaping. So Hotel Equities will be our property manager for this project. Did you want to talk a little bit about Hotel Equities, Jeremy?
Yeah. Hotel Equities currently manages over 300 hotels nationwide. They're one of the most respected third-party operators in the U.S., and with 300 properties, that puts them in the top 5 in terms of size. We'll have on-site operations, and it will be a staffed property like a hotel. It will just be on a smaller scale. By eliminating daily housekeeping and making that an a la carte option, it now turns the largest controllable expense in a hotel into a revenue center. And by streamlining the rest of the operation from a breakfast and manager's reception standpoint, and some other staffing changes, that's what helps us really drive that profitability while giving the guests the flexibility that they don't have with some of the legacy brands. There is a high demand for the all-inclusive type furnished place to live. And that can range anywhere from a couple of nights to a year longer. Your mix of guests is going to include everybody from local blue collar and first responders that are tired of the commute an hour plus from the further out suburbs that want to live closer to where they work, to people relocating to Texas. Since the last 5 years, there's been a lot of relocations into Texas and the Dallas market in particular. And while they're looking for a home or doing renovations to their home, they need a place to stay. So we give a great opportunity to work with the local realtors and relocation companies for that. And then as you see the occupancy for post April 24 date, those again are conservative because this is an open operating hotel currently. We're not going to have to close this down to do full scale renovations. We'll be able to do the small improvements that we've got planned while the hotel is open and operating. So again, we want to have a very conservative approach with the expectation we should be able to exceed those expectations and deliver outsized value to the investors.
Yeah, and you'll notice that occupancy is actually slightly lower than the current occupancy for months 1 through 4, and that's going to be beneficial for the discounted rollover that Keith is going to talk through in a couple of minutes here. So having that occupancy projected to be slightly lower is actually going to be a huge tax advantage for investors. So the exit strategy here, renovation should take 3 months. We should stabilize between 5 to 6 months, have it at full occupancy or 75% plus occupancy. A refinance will be year 3 for a full return of investor equity, and then we'll cash flow year 3 to year 5. Now, we will be on the lookout for opportunities to exit and disposition the property year 3 through year 5, and we are open to selling the property really at any time that makes sense for us. The buyer will be an extended stay operator. The property value, again, $13.9 million. This is what our past projects have looked like. This is a boutique motel to apartment conversion in McAllen, Texas. You can see here that it looks very similar. I mean, the cosmetics are different, the colors are different, but very similar to what the Homewood Addison suites looks like. And so this is the type of product that we produce. This is what the quality of product that we have. So rental comps. Yeah, Jeremy, do you want to jump into this one?
Yeah. As we were putting the pro forma together, trying to see if this was a viable project, as we were looking at the multifamily furnished rentals, we were blown away. As Jacob mentioned earlier, there's only 16,000 people that live in Addison, but every day there's 125,000 people commuting to Addison to work. So as you see this first example, it's right down the street, a couple blocks away, and studios start at over $4,300 for the exact same square footage. We're off by 8 feet. We're actually 8 feet larger. And then, here's another studio in a 1-bedroom, again, dramatically higher than what our pro forma shows. And we don't require a lease, right? So a lot of these are going to be a 6-month minimum. Most are a 12-month minimum. And by us not having a lease, that gives us additional flexibility that, here's another at 3,600. It's, again, within that's about 3 blocks away, and you're at 3,600 a month. So at 120 a night, here's what it shows, that we're still taking a very conservative approach to our pricing and our rates and our pro forma, that we feel good that there's some nice significant upside, but we want to under promise and over deliver for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, and the furnished comps are it's perfect. I mean, these are perfect comps, same size, basically same location, and same quality of product, and so we feel like coming in a little bit under what market is. I mean, this is significantly under what market is. We'll boost our occupancy, and like Jeremy said, it gives us room to increase and add even further value to the property. Here's some market reports that we'll send out in the OM, and you can view those and kind of dive into it a little bit more. And that's what we had today. And so we're going to let Keith take a little bit of time here, now that you guys understand the deal, and talk about an excellent tax strategy that is going to work for this project that you guys can take advantage of. So Keith, I'll add you in here.
Thanks for having me, Jacob. Can you guys hear me okay? See the screen?
Yep.
Excellent. This is a fantastic discounted rollover opportunity. What is a discounted rollover, you might ask? I'm so glad you asked because I'm here to talk about that. So let's say you invested $100,000 in this project and you're investing into an operating hotel. Day two, they shut it down. What is a shutdown hotel worth? A whole lot less than you paid for it. Meaning we go out and get an independent valuation, and maybe that comes in likely 50 to 65% off. And so your investment from a self-directed traditional retirement account gets revalued, in this example, at $50,000. And then it pops, you pay taxes on the $50,000, all of that, and then it pops up in value all within the Roth. So now you've got $200,000 in your Roth. And so it's a strategic way to move money at a big discount. So to walk through it mechanically, you'll get $100,000 over time as you put money into your traditional account as a tax deduction. Usually that comes off your W-2. You're having to pay taxes on the $50,000 when you roll it over, but you're still ahead. It's $100,000 tax deduction, $50,000 taxable income. You're still $50,000 ahead. But the real benefit is $200,000 if this has a big exit. And I think you guys projected even bigger than that if this goes all the way through. It's a big amount to get in a Roth and then never have taxed again. So it's a phenomenal strategy to be able to use an investment like this that has a predictable drop in value because we're taking it from an operating hotel to a shutdown hotel. And then there's a big pop in value simply by changing not asset classes. I know you guys are more of an extended stay model, but even that shift allows us to get a big pop in value on the backside. And for those of you that are familiar with estate planning, where you might be aware of lack of marketability, lack of control discounts, those are also things that we're able to stack in here that also contribute to that big discount on the back end. And so if you have any questions, feel free. You can scan the QR code or just email me, keith@financialjourney.life. Happy to, for anybody that's interested, I walk through them. I am a CPA, own a tax firm. My partner on this is a tax attorney, former IRS federal agent who trained the auditors. And so we will represent you all as just part of the deal, as part of the service and working with Jacob on this. So I just want to turn it back and see if there's any questions from either Jacob or the audience. Can't hear you, Jacob.
Whoops, sorry about that. I think you answered this, but to get further clarification, the appraisal or appraised value, it can come month one, right? Immediately once we acquire the property and see either a decrease in occupancy.
Come month one. We work with you to identify the.
Right.
Awesome.
So sorry, that really,
I think there was a delay. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, that really takes a lot of the risk out of a very good deal. That even de-risk it more, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Yeah. So the fact, part of what I'm doing with you guys is I'm working with you guys to identify the lowest predictable drop in value whenever you think, and it probably will be month one, as you said. We'll get that valuation done. We'll stack the other discounts on top of it. And this is, I would guess, at least a 50% discount, if not significantly more, which leads to a really big opportunity for you and your investors.
Perfect. So there's a question from Andrew, actually. So his question was, how easy is it to get my IRA custodian to work with you?
That's a great question. And frankly, we have all the forms to document the rollover if there's any questions. Sometimes different custodians have their own forms that they want to use. We're happy to help you complete them as part of the package. So again, if there's any questions from you or the IRA custodian, we've got a tax attorney that literally worked for the IRS, loves this idea. We're happy to walk anybody through it, including your professional advisors. We've got technical guides. It's all very legitimate. And that's our goal, is to handhold you through this process and get you a big discount on the back end.
Awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks so much, Keith. You could see Keith's email there. You could scan the QR code. Again, this is great opportunity that you're presenting to us, Keith. So thanks so much for your time. And we've known Keith for years now. I think 3 years. And he has a great investor group. He's a great individual. So highly recommend getting in touch with Keith for a discounted rollover, or just to network and see what else you can work with them on. So thank you, Keith.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure to get to know you guys and watch you guys work.
Awesome. Appreciate it. So that will conclude our deal webinar for today. Again, these are the projected returns, and I'll just go back to what a $100,000 investment will look like. There is no minimum investment. We get that question a lot. And again, $1.9 million equity raise. And the close date is April 24th, next month. So if anybody has any questions, you could post it to the comments section. We'll get it and we can answer it. Or you can email us at info@parkrise.com, Jacob@parkrise.com, Jeremy@parkrise.com. Any of those emails, we'll get your question, and we'll be happy to answer it. And Jeremy, did you have anything else to add?
No, I think this is a stupendous opportunity, even before Keith's opportunity that he proposed there, which even de-risks this deal further. So whichever way you look at it, this is going to be hot. And so definitely don't miss your opportunity to get in on this one.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time. We'll wrap it up here, and please reach out, and happy to assist where needed. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.
Welcome to your new home in McAllen, Texas.
This place used to be totally different. We took 29 motel rooms that were dated. Remember, these were built in the 50s, and we turned them around. We gutted these down to the studs. We replaced the electrical. We replaced the plumbing. We even added gas lines. And now we have a beautiful 29-unit multifamily. So bear with me, there's a lot that we're packaging into this one offer for the resident. In this motel to apartment conversion, we have sewer, water, trash, electric, internet, washer, dryer, dishwasher, microwave, oven, stove, all included for just one monthly fee.
Y no se preocupe, nosotros hablamos español. Go ahead and go to studiosonfourth.com, check out the floor plans that we have available, and submit your information. And just a friendly reminder, we have everything included: sewer, water, trash, electric, utilities, even fiber, high-speed internet. Submit your info and we'll get back to you. Welcome home.